What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Alright, so before I get into this video, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to the man, the myth, the legend, the brother Robert Mason, coming through once again with a donation, the MVP of Too Raw for TV. $11 donation via the PayPal. And I know that you are hot right now. He's a longtime Golden State Warriors fan. I've been a fan, I think, at least since the 1970s of the Warriors, going back to the old days. And I know the frustrations that Warrior fans are feeling right now. Last night, they lost to the Atlanta Hawks, 127 to 119. It's the same old story. Steph Curry individually had a good game, 31 points, 12 of 27 shooting. Not quite the 50-point, mosaic that he put on against the Clippers. Unfortunately, another game that they lost. But still, it's the same story where certain guys are individually and ISOs are getting big games, but other guys either aren't making shots or they're not stopping the opposition. And then another thing that's happening is that teams are not as blitzkrieg playing against the Warriors as they were 5, 6, 7 years ago. They've game planned against this team. They've taken the blows and they've made the adjustments. And now they know some of the weaknesses that the Warriors have. And some of the weaknesses are some of the things the Warriors have developed over the years, some bad habits. The Warriors, when they're at their best, they weren't just strictly a three-point shooting team. Yeah, Clay and Steph took a lot of threes. But they mixed it up a bit, and they played within a team framework. Not to mention that they used to be a great defensive team on the road as well as at home, which is the mark of a championship team. Now, they did that for the first 20 games last year, and then the last 20 games of the season last year, and into the playoffs. But this year, it's been just Jekyll and Hyde. At home, they're 29-7. But on the road, they're almost the complete opposite, 7-28. And no matter how much Steve Kerr wants to sugarcoat, they're talking about, I believe that we'll be able to stop people on the road. The numbers speak for themselves. They've lost 10 consecutive home games. Okay? 10 consecutive road games. They've lost 10 consecutive road games. Sorry for that faux pas. Also, at home, they're holding their opponents beyond the arc at just 32%, which is 4 percentage points below, which is a lot below the NBA average of 36%. But on the road, opponents are shooting nearly 41%. 41% against the Warriors. That's close to 5 percentage points above the league average. You're not going to win if your opponent is consistently shooting 41% from beyond the arc. And let's see what Atlanta shot from beyond the arc. Let's see if I can pull that stat up. Atlanta shot 39%, so close to that. Golden State just 27.5%. Now, I know Draymond didn't play last night, man, but look, man, at the end of the day, this team, Steve Kerr has to be, I don't get it, because Doc Rivers can have a 3-game losing streak and be called out by the media. He'll be on the hot seat if his team has lost 6 of 10 games. Am I lying? He'll be on the hot streak. But Steve Kerr, this team went from a dominant postseason run to barely trying to, struggle to make the playoffs. And they have Steph putting up numbers. Clay is playing better than he did last year. Poole is putting up career numbers, at least as far as points are concerned. Draymond's having a Draymond year. Not spectacular, obviously, but he's having a Draymond year. And they suck. And I'm sorry, a lot of that has to do with coaching. Steve Kerr has been filling this team, and nobody calls this dude out. Why? Because he is a 5-time NBA champion who lucked up to play with Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, and then he got to play with, Tim Duncan and David Robinson. And then he lucked up to take over from Mark Jackson and coach future Hall of Famers Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. And, I guess Draymond's going to be a WWE Hall of Famer or whatever. But, yeah, I mean, that's the truth. But nobody wants to call Steve Kerr out. You also got to call out Steph Curry for not being a leader. That's just my opinion. He's a great, great player. But as a leader, as a guy that gets in people's faces and lays down the law, even, Michael Jordan was not initially a raw guy. But as he got older, he had to improve in that. There's some people you got to get in their face. And to a great degree, I blame these two for not getting on Draymond Green. Because Draymond Green pretty much has single-handedly ruined this fucking season with his goddamn antics. Punching players in the goddamn face, throwing basketballs at players, throwing temper tantrums. Nobody's checking this dude. He wouldn't have did that shit back in the day. Let him play it on the Bad Boy Pistons or the Boston Celtics or the Showtime Lakers or the Bulls, or let him play with Zoe and those guys in Miami, or let him play with the New York Knicks, most definitely, and see if he'd have pulled that shit. But this team is just full of guys, man, that's just really ISO, trying to get their numbers. They rely on way too much on the three now. They're just not the same team. And they're not together. They're not together as a unit, man. And when you don't have that cohesion as a unit, it's not going to translate. Now, at home, they got the crowd behind them. That's the familiarity of being at home. They play close to what their potential is at home. But on the road, it's gone on for too long. Steve Kerr talking about something, well, he thinks there's going to be some magic switch that's going to be flicked in the playoffs. Keep dreaming, because it's not going to happen. And part of this, I'm going to be honest with you, I believe is just age. It's age. Curry's 35. Clay, Draymond, all 33-ish? But they got a lot of mileage, man. These guys have played a lot of games since 2015. Went to the finals in 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Curry had to do so much as far as heavy lifting when Draymond left. When Draymond was out, for whatever fucking reason, or Draymond was doing nothing. Clay was out. Kevin Durant left. He had to do so much heavy lifting. He carried the team finally last year. Went off in the playoffs. He can still do it, but how much are you going to keep relying on him with this team so Steph Curry offense heavy when it should probably be a more even distribution of scoring? But, they just rely on Steph so much. And he's doing a remarkable job, but one of these days, man, that tire's going to fucking flat. But anyway, the Warriors are a complete mess, man. But tell me what you guys think.